welcome to everyone out there who decided to join us for this Zoom meeting. This is a fascinating way to get a sample of the huge variety of programs offered at Ursuline College. The psychology department advantage that you would get at Ursuline College really revolves around three different factors. One of them is curriculum, the other are opportunities you will have, and the third is relationships. So starting out, the psychology department has a very flexible curriculum that allows you to achieve the goals that you have for yourself. If you want to have a career in psychology, you need to go to graduate school. It's like being pre-med or pre-law or pre-dentistry, you need the professional program. For students who want to get a bachelor's degree in psychology and stop, there are a tremendous number of opportunities available to you. For those of you who want to go on to graduate school in psychology, there are many opportunities as well. And we've tailored our curriculum for both of those different tracks. And we call that the applied track, or the graduate school track. Also within the curriculum, we have 4 unique program clusters that you are not likely to find anywhere else. One of them is called clinical forensic psychology. Clinical psychology is basically dealing with psychopathology, psychiatric illnesses. The forensic side of it is psychology applied to law. So these licensed psychologists would work in correctional facilities, work as expert witnesses in the court system and so forth. And to support that cluster, that topic of clinical forensic psychology, we have a course called forensic psychology. You're probably not going to find that anywhere else. We have another called profiling violent offenders. You're probably not going to find that anywhere else. We also have personality disorders and criminal behavior. You're probably not going to find that anywhere else. And these are in addition to the standard abnormal psychology classes that every college or university has. So if you have an interest in clinical psychology, specifically clinical forensic psychology, we're the place to be. Other program clusters include experimental cognitive psychology, which is basically researching human thought processes, learning, memory, decision-making, problem-solving, language. Another is school psychology, so psychological applications in the educational system. School psychologists are not the people who help you make your schedules in high school, but they are rather the people who develop individual educational plans for students who need that type of support. And then a fourth cluster in the department is we have an industrial organizational psychology cluster of courses. IO, industrial organizational, is psychology applied to the business world. If you think of business as an organism, there are a multitude of psychological principles that we can apply to the business, to the workplace, to make it function better. Imagine one company is buying another, they all have to get along better. How can we do that? We use psychology to do that. IO psychologists would do assessment, job placement of people, human work and human resources as well. So even just within the curriculum, we have these different clusters, the clinical forensic track, experimental cognitive, the school psych, as well as the industrial organizational. And you can choose whether you want to go the graduate school track or get a bachelor's degree using the applied track. Also within the psychology department, very unusual, we have what is called Departmental Honors in psychology. So in addition to earning a bachelor's degree in psychology in the end, if you meet certain criteria based upon your grade point average, based upon external scores that we can talk about a little bit later, as well as research presentations, you may have added to your transcript Departmental Honors in Psychology. If you are particularly interested in graduate school, this helps you stand out from all of the other people who want to have that graduate school experience as well. In addition to Departmental Honors, we have membership in Psych-Hi, the International Honor Society in Psychology. Again, that's available to qualified folks. We have dedicated lab facilities. We are in one of the newest academic buildings on campus, and we have a dedicated classroom as well as laboratory facilities in there where all of our research is done. This leads me into talking about research. I think one of the hallmarks of our program is the opportunity for undergraduate students to do novel research. And what I mean by novel is you design it, you collect the data, you analyze it, you write it up, and you present it at conferences. Most undergraduate students will never have that opportunity in a psychology major. Every psychology program has one research course. We have three. So if you want to have that research experience, if you want to make yourself more competitive in the application process for graduate school, we encourage you to take as many of the research classes as you possibly can. We had one student several years ago who had applied for graduate school. She received interviews at several institutions, and it was a cattle call for that day. There were probably 20 undergraduates being interviewed that particular day, and that was only one day of several days. And she walked into the office, and the faculty person pulled out her application, started looking at it, and then his eyes lit up. And he said, "I see you're going to Chicago to present your research project at the Midwestern Psychological Association. Tell me about it." That experience allowed her to stand out from all the people that faculty person saw that day, as well as the ones that faculty person saw the other days. I am pleased to say that particular student has finished her doctorate. She is now a psychology professor in Central Ohio and doing quite well. We do things in the psychology department to help you stand out, to make your talents and abilities evident to other people as you wish to develop your career pathways. We attend several conferences, undergraduate conferences, where you can present your research and add to your resume. The Ohio Undergraduate Psychology Conference is one, which rotates around the state of Ohio. Another I mentioned is in Chicago, the Midwestern Psychological Association. I am also pleased to tell you that if you conduct this novel research, if you get it accepted, we support the cost of your attendance. And so we are very much behind you. We have your back in the development of professional opportunities for yourself. Not surprisingly, many of our students want to go to graduate school in psychology this year alone, and I don't have the list in front of me, but I think we have students accepted to 5 different doctoral programs in psychology and at least as many master's programs in counseling and forensic psychology as well. So they did all the right things. They took advantage of all the opportunities made available to them in the department, and they are realizing their goals, their career paths. In psychology, we also have some specific scholarships related to the major. One in particular is supporting our folks who go to the conferences, and that is where we get that money. So I told you early on that our unique factor in the psychology department is the curriculum. I hope I've made my case for that. Opportunities, clearly there are some opportunities available that you'll not find anywhere else. And then finally, relationships. I've left that to the end. We are a small school. We will know all of our students. We will know you by name. We will know how you're doing, and we will keep track of you long after you leave, because you're not just someone passing through our courses. And the relationships that I have with my students from many years ago are stronger than they were when they were students, because we've grown professionally together. The career outlook for a psychology major at the bachelor's level, there's expected growth of 22%, specifically in substance abuse counseling, mental health counseling, 22% growth over the next 10 years. That's huge. In psychologist at the doctoral level, growth is faster than average at 14% over the next 10 years. So clearly there are job opportunities available for you. Thank you.